Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Stock coming at you with the Weekly Comic Wrap. We're we're about the halfway point now, so we'll start off with Spider-Man number 9. Where we left off, Spider-Man had enlisted the aid of Norman Osborn to help him or to increase. The effect of increase, basically to amp up his spider sense. Sadly, however, that means that he now senses the danger that anyone's in. Also, Electro has got a new scheme for a robbery. So yeah. So Peter's kind of having a meltdown because of feeling everything. But he stops a ball from a kid's ball from rolling into the street, preventing the kid from getting hit by a car. Stops a couple of gamers outside of a bar from beating each other up. Though he does admit that one is definitely at fault. Performs a Heimlich maneuver on someone. Prevents a cab that just had a blowout from hitting pedestrians. Spider Boy's watching, and Gold Goblin swoops in to help Peter, utilizing one of his old pumpkin bombs that neutralizes his Peter's spider sense. Electro has made his way into one of the vaults that his late associate was installing, and finds it full of gold. And well, he realizes that while splitting the loot sucks, having help can pay off, because that way you don't have to carry all the loot yourself. Back at Oscorp. Norman's trying to run tests, but Peter realizes that he's supposed to join May for dinner that night, and he's already running late. Peter slips out, and Norman even asks himself, back when he was evil, how he was never able to kill Spider-Man. But Peter's at dinner, and Norman shows up. In fact, a line from the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man is even utilized when Norman arrives. He brought some cranberries. Most of the other dinner guests aren't entirely happy to see Norman. They don't think too highly of him, but Anna Watson, longtime friend of Aunt May's, Mary Jane's aunt, when Norman makes some comments about second chances, she says that she's proof of all things being possible. She was dying of a rare disease and was saved by miracle drugs grown from a magical mutant flower. But while May's getting a bowl to put the cranberries in, the gas from Norman's pumpkin bomb wears off, and while Peter's able to save May, he realizes that he's going to have to go. Norman and Jameson have an exchange. Jameson basically saying, I got my eye. You hurt. Don't. You do anything. You hurt Peter, and you're answering to me. Peter makes his escape, and Norman goes to follow, but runs into Spider Boy, who no one yet remembers. But Spider-Man stops a train from falling on construction workers. Saves a man from being hit by a subway train. Or an explosion. And a handful of goons are performing a bank robbery. But and Peter's going to wonder, why is it that they're the ones that are, what danger are they in? Like, oh right, the danger of the beating of, but land all of them. She does, and though he's feeling all the pain he's causing them as well, sort of. But once they're down, Spider-Man's zapped by Electro, who thanks him for taking out his crew. That way, no one needs to split the loot. And Electro gets to be the guy that killed Spider-Man. That is where the issue ends. I'm definitely digging this run. This is probably, I think, after the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man, I would say I'm probably enjoying this Spider-Man book more so than Amazing. Before, I probably would have said they're as much, but yeah, I think this one has kind of eked it out a little higher on the rankings. And each issue's been just a delight to read, in my opinion at least. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Hallows Eve #3. Where we left off, Janine, now going by Hallows Eve, was trying to get the security guard that she inadvertently bit and turned into a werewolf when she was wearing her werewolf mask. And that kind of went sideways, and he ended up in the custody of the Beyond Corporation. But she slipped on her vampire mask and took on Beyond. But the issue opens with that fight continuing. She gets tasered and knocked out of the van. However, as she tries to catch up to the van, Spider-Man hits with some webbing. And Janine puts on the Frankenstein mask to attack Spider-Man, but sadly loses the side of the van. While fighting Spider-Man, Spider-Man kicks her hard enough that it actually knocks off her mask for a moment. In an effort to escape, she slips on her ghost mask and, makes good her escape. Detective Simmons shows up, and Peter tries to tell her what he can know what's just happened. He also inquires, "Am I about to get arrested? Because superheroing is double illegal in the city." But she kind of says, the detective explains that her husband and kid wouldn't be alive if it weren't for Spider-Man. So if he can just say that she attempted to arrest him and he got away. Janine gets in touch with Marcus. Asks him to find out what he can, but Beyond knows someone's trying to get in. Get into their systems. Janine puts on her cop mask and joins some of the officers, including meeting back up with Detective Simmons, and informs, upon telling her that Beyond has the security guard. Well, she also lets the detective in on what she knows from someone on the inside about Beyond. Back at Beyond, the werewolf security guard arrives, and Maxine tries to keep him calm, based in an effort to get a blood sample. Back at Marcus's place, Janine picks up some additional gadgets to help her out, all non-lethal, but as she leaves, she slips on her ghost mask, and a Beyond His squad shows up at Marcus's door. Janine makes her way to Beyond Headquarters HQ, and as she's making her way through the building, it seems maybe Maxine saw her. But she finds Simon, and Maxine shows up, holding a gun to Marcus's head, explaining that Janine has something that belongs to her. And that is where the issue ends. Good miniseries so far. I get the feeling that had Janine simply explain what's going on to Peter rather than try to take care of the whole situation on her own, maybe things would have worked out a little better. But well, yeah. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Red Goblin number 5. Where we left off, Normie Osborn has a pet symbiote named Rascal, which he's beginning to realize that you can't just there aren't any bad symbiotes, just bad hosts. However, he's about to get a crash course in bad hosts as Cletus Cassidy's on the loose with the Extrembiote, which Cletus has hooked into the Stark Unlimited network. So Carnage is sending messages or FaceTime messages to various people throughout the network, including one to Normie's brother Stan, while trying to convince him to kill his mother. Normie stops him though, and ends up getting a peek at the video message, which freaks out Rascal. But seeing what's going on, Normie convinces Rascal to help, and yeah, the Cape Killers are not exactly having a great time dealing with crowd control, especially since they have to do so non-lethally. While Scorpion is at the mercy of Carnage. Agent Gao shows up and saves Scorpion, but she gets a call from Stark Unlimited's new CEO, Fei Long. Who wants to know what she's doing in his building. Adding that it appears there is a mutant in the building as well, and so, well, Fei Long is sending in reinforcements, Stark Sentinels. But Normie does what he can to help to mitigate the people under Carnage's thrall, and gets a bit of backup from Spider-Man, Miles Morales. They deal with Kenneth Neely, removing parts of his symbiote armor, and even overriding the symbiote portion of it. Though that kind of pisses Carnage off just a little bit. But the Sentinels arrive. The crowd has basically got the Cape Killers, Spider-Man, Red Goblin, they're severely outnumbered. And then the Sentinels arrive. And that is where the issue ends. Now, it should be noted that these Stark Sentinels, while mutants are at the moment their primary target, the next target is other metahumans. So, yeah. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Venom number 20. Where we left off, Venom, Eddie Brock, had been given another shot at life. At the Absinthe Throne Laboratory, an undisclosed location, some scientists are studying what's the remains of Eddie Brock, even utilizing tests from the future, thanks to Meridius. But Eddie's body reforms from his remains, making him a human symbiote. He makes good his escape. Borrows some clothes and a motorcycle from a kid trying to get through, and makes his way across country to Baywater, or down the coast. I mean, not cross country, but Eddie deals with the cops outside the town, who are basically doing what they can to keep people out. Makes his way, however, deeper in to deal with the Hellhounds, who he deals with rather swiftly, as, Bedlam is inside the bar that's their headquarters. Eddie makes his way into the bar, and upon arrival, Eddie says he's all warmed up and ready for the real fight, and asks if Bedlam is as well, to which Bedlam replies he's ready when Eddie is. And that is where the issue ends. Things are definitely getting interesting in this book. It looks... It should be... I know there's the upcoming Summer of Symbiotes and Death of the Venom-Verse, so there's likely big things planned for both. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Extreme Venom-Verse number 2. Where we left off in this anthology series, Anne Weying, Agent Venom of, I do not recall the designation of her Earth, is traveling throughout the multiverse, building an army of Venoms, because something's coming for them. Carnage. So, we've got 3 stories. First is The Sinister Secret of Black Cat's New Costume, then The Prisoner, and finally Mask of Red Death. So, it's not clearly stated what Earth this is, but it's an Earth fairly similar to the regular Marvel Universe, history-wise, up until the point that Spider-Man learned the truth of the black costume. It's being studied at the Baxter Building by... this is just after separating the black costume from Peter, but Black Cat slips in and has overheard Reed Richards discussing or talking to himself out loud about black costume, and she breaks it out and bonds with it. Apparently, she, as a willing host, it's no problem for her. And she also made some changes to the building's security systems, including a means of turning off Human Torch's flames. But Mr. Fantastic gets some readings and realizes that it doesn't appear like that the symbiote is a danger to Felicia. And she swings out of the night, observed by Anne. Moving on to the prisoner, Eddie Brock is being escorted to a cell in Rikers Island. It's on Earth 345, which I think actually corresponds with the issue number of Amazing Spider-Man, where we first met Cletus Cassidy. Eddie Brock is moved to a cell. The symbiote gets him, tries to bond, only it's not Eddie. It's an Eddie Brock live model decoy, as well. Eddie got into it with his cellmates, and his cellmates shipped him. But and it's the LMD is designed to keep the symbiote in place. However, Carnage deals with the Shield agents who are looking to capture the symbiote when Carnage appears. Carnage realizes this is a Venom who never met Carnage. They fight through the building. Eventually causing an explosion, and shows up in the aftermath and recruits the life model Venom, the LMV. Finally, we got the Mask of Red Death on a medieval Earth. I think this is actually supposed to be the Earth that 1602 is set on. Earth 311. A plague has hit part of the realm, and everyone's dying, including all the jesters, all but one. It appears as Jester's patron is having a shindig, and so he has to fully suit up, meaning he goes full Venom, and but another guest arrives. The Red Death. It's Carnage. Carnage has been killing the other jesters, looking for this particular one. They duke it out with Carnage, of course, causing collateral damage and basically killing everyone in the room. And that is where the story ends. Interesting run of stories. I think my favorite was probably the one with Black Cat. I actually during End of Spider-Verse, I actually really liked the idea of a Spider-Man variant who is basically Black Cat, but Spider-Man as well. So I like the idea of there being a Venom variant that's Venom, but also Black Cat. So it makes for a fun. I think it makes for a fun combination. Moving on, though, to our last book, we've got Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis, number 4. Now you maybe ask yourself, didn't we have number 5 last week? Yes, we did. Again, the shipping problems Marvel had these last few weeks. Issue 4 it didn't make it to my local shop until a week after issue 5. That said, it does explain a little bit, as I was kind of scratching my head as to what the hell is Daredevil doing here? So, Carnage and Halloween Jack have riled up the citizens of New York. It's a full-blown riot. An Alchemax Fixer is making suggestions to the board, and they're listening. Turns out this Alchemax Fixer is also Daredevil of 2099. He suits up to go into town to deal with, Carnage. Venom and Spider-Man are dealing with Carnage's horde with Spider-Man suggesting that perhaps Venom should just deal with the undead while Miguel deals with the living. Blade and Halloween Jack are duking it out, and Blade is having trouble maintaining control, Moon Knight is dealing with Flip Side. Spider-Woman's trying to deal with Carnage. However, gunfire erupts as the Punisher arrives on the scene. Miguel is kind of surprised to see Jake, but he's not sure how to help. Flipside is injured by the gunfire and loses an arm to Moon Knight, and eventually ends up getting a sword through the head courtesy of Blade, removing Flipside from the battlefield. While fighting Halloween Jack, Miguel gets cut on the leg, which is exactly what was needed to basically a means of baiting Carnage to come after him. Punisher and Moon Knight deal with one another, fight one another, and eventually Spider-Man leads Carnage to Ghost Rider's ghost room. Ghost Rider attempts to stop Carnage, though Carnage is potentially too small or too powerful. But he's not. It seems there's no sign of Carnage in the ghost room, so maybe things are taken care of. However, Halloween Jack is still riling up the crowd. And Daredevil is aware that Carnage is still alive, but has made his way to the sewers. That is where the issue ends. And yes, the series did end with Carnage being defeated, Halloween Jack getting away on his own, and things returning to quasi-normal in Nueva York. Anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.